This is the Rigs and Radio podcast. My name's Jason. I'm your host. I decided to start this podcast on the basis of Overland rigs and what radios you have installed. I've been on YouTube for a number of years for ham radio type videos, and I got into the Overland world just about 2 years ago, and I saw a need to create a collaboration, if you will, between overlanding and ham radio, but also GMRS radio, CB radio, any type of two-way radio device. This is the Rigs and Radio podcast, where we talk about overlanding rigs and radios, whatever they might be. Thank you for joining. Okay, welcome back to another episode of the Rigs and Radio podcast. My name's Jason, and we are here today with Wes from 3 Alarm Overland. And this is one of the first podcasts that's happening on this channel, so we're kind of finding our sea legs here. We're going to see how this goes. This is the first ever interview. I've got one episode that was prior to this one, and this is the first interview I've done. But this is the kind of style of show that I like to do, that I kind of envisioned for this series moving forward. So, Wes, thanks for taking the time out today, and tell us a little bit about yourself and how you're involved in overlanding, what 3 Alarm Overland is, and where we can find you on that regard.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, Jason. So 3 Alarm Overland was developed by two friends that's been friends since elementary school, and we've camped all our life. And we were in Boy Scouts together, Pack 232, and we've always evolved through the years. So I started out before overlanding car camping. I had a pickup truck with a topper on it that I made a bed platform and stuff, and we would go camping out at our farms. Justin has a pretty large little farm, and we'd go out in the woods and camp for the weekend and stuff like that. And it just evolved through the years, and we've decided to get together and bring some overlanding to the local area that we're at. I'm based in Indiana; he's based in Illinois, and we're bringing also some products. Justin is a fantastic cook. When we go to events, he cooks all the time. He makes his homemade summer sausages and seasonings and stuff. So we've got some products that's going to be coming to market very, very soon, and which is really exciting to us, because then we're going to be able to give back. Both him and I were career medic and firefighters, and so we're going to be able to give back a portion of those proceeds. We're going to put a portion of those proceeds back to where it's needed in the service. There's a lot of areas in the service that are either low funded or low equipment, and hopefully we're able to donate money back. And also we're wanting to donate money to the local burn camp for children and stuff like that. It's a wonderful organization. And so that's kind of how 3 Alarm started. And we're really, really excited about what is coming in the future. We've got a lot of products in line, a lot of products in mind, and they're going to be mostly all of ours from scratch.
Good, excellent. Yeah, I knew it had some sort of EMS / firefighter element to it. Of course, my dad growing up, my dad was a firefighter for 30 some odd years. So he retired about 12 or 15 years ago, but he was the chief of a little town here that close to me. But so I was around firefighters all throughout growing up, and I knew that was part of it, but I wasn't sure how that related. So thanks for sharing that. So you and I met at the Overland Expo East show of 2021, I believe it was. It was
that sounds correct. Yeah.
Okay.
That sounds right.
Because I didn't go, because I've only been to that show one time. It was 2 years ago, so I know that's right. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think you were not a ham at the time. And you have since, I think it was like 6 or 8 months later, you texted me, and we exchanged it. We hit it off right pretty quickly, because I was doing the ham radio thing, but you were out there with whiskey and cigars, and I'm like, oh, I gotta meet this guy. So
yeah, it was, I think it was 2000, and yeah, somewhere around in there, 2001. And
21. But yeah.
yeah, we had a booth and we were having fun. And you were over at, if I remember right, Gigaparts.
Right.
You were at the Gigaparts booth, and I met you through a friend of mine that knew who you was, and you came over and we kind of chatted and stuff like that. But yeah, I was not a ham at the time.
Right.
I picked your brain because I wanted to be a ham, so I really picked your brain, which was awesome, on where to get, how to get the classes, how to learn, how to, where to get the testing and stuff like that. Which was fantastic because you had it right on your site, right on your YouTube page, which was awesome to go to and learn. The people put that on are fantastic. They do a great job with that. And I was able to learn. I went to a local ham fest that was just 20 minutes of mine, and took the test and passed the test, and I was excited because I actually texted you right in the parking lot that I passed my test, and I was really stoked about that. And amazingly enough, when I was there, they actually put me in a drawing because I passed the test, and I was lucky enough I won the FT 65.
Nice.
When I took the test, because they put me in the drawing for the test, and I won the drawing, which was amazing because I had another ham radio that I'd been listening to kind of get, I call it the lingo, just to make sure that I have the right thing, because in the fire service we have a certain lingo that we have to talk on the radio. So I was nervous about the lingo and how everything works, but it's not that difficult. It's really not to talk. So there's great people out there, and it's really fantastic group of people to learn from because I really enjoy it.
Good. And you got your general upgrade at some point, didn't you?
I have not.
Okay.
I was going to take my general, and I signed up for an online test because I'd studied up. And then I realized that day that was the day that they changed the test.
Oh, well,
the test thing just changed.
Yeah, it changes. So there's 3 license classes, and each of them change once every 4 years. And so they technician this year, general next year, extra next year, and then they take a year off and they start over again. And it's always in July. But the question pool only changes about 10 to 15%. So it's very possible you could have passed that.
It is, but I got stage fright because I was like, oh my gosh, it just changed, and I don't. And so I withdrawed from it, and actually I was studying right before this, and hopefully by the end of the week I'll be able to take the test and pass, because I don't want to take it and get somewhat. I want to do really well, and I want to know not just the answers to the questions. I actually want to know the material, because I just think it helps in the end. And that way, when you're programming, a by phone, you know how to do it, because some of those can be difficult unless you know the terms.
Right. Correct. Okay. Cool, man. Well, I know you've done some parks on the air, so I know that you were excited about that. So I kind of thought you had gotten your HF, but maybe you're just staying on 10 meters, which is 10 meters has been kind of hot lately. So
absolutely. So I just did the what was it? CW DX competition.
Yes,
I just did that, and
CQDX.
CQDX. Yes, CQDX, and I did for being just I have a FTX 10, and I put a wolf coil out in the backyard.
Wolf River coil.
And set it to 10 meters. I got it down to like 1.2
nice.
SWR, which was pretty impressive because I live in a subdivision with power lines everywhere. And I was amazed how far I was able to get out, and it worked really well. And I for me, I did really well. But I do a lot of. We have a local ham club that I've joined, and we do a lot of parks on the air as a group, or individuals will go out with me and do it, or I do go out and do 10 meters. Good. Yeah, 10 meters is a really fun band when it's opened up.
It's a fun thing to do. I'm a general. I've been a general for 5 or 6, 7, maybe 7 years. I don't remember now. And if 10 meters opens up, I go down there and talk because it's a fun band, and you can get a lot of really good DX and DX meaning countries outside of the USA.
Yeah.
So we can talk to South America, Europe, sometimes Asia, Africa. Cuba is usually really easily. Polynesian countries are easier on 10 meters most of the time. So it's a fun band to be on.
Yeah, I actually last night I was on there for a little bit. It was pretty hot, and I was here in Australia.
Oh yeah.
And,
You know what? I have a friend who has a YouTube channel in Australia, and we talked to him we talked to him from the Quartz Fest
nice.
RV show, Overland RV show, and on 10 meters, and that was fun. That was a fun thing. All right, so you've sent me some pictures of some of your. Now, how many rigs do you have right now?
Actually, I'm down to only 2.
Oh, I thought you had like 5 or something.
Well, I've had a sudden increase in needs and wants / just I don't know. I need to make my mind what I really want, and now I'm pretty sure I have 100% of what I want. Okay. I bought something not too long ago that I thought that was what I wanted, but then come to find out it really wasn't due to reliability, I would say. But yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll go through these pictures you sent me, and if it's not a rig you have anymore, that's okay. You can still tell us about the radio setup.
Absolutely.
If you don't mind. So this one right here, well, first of all, what vehicle is this?
That is actually a 2023 Ram Power Wagon is what that is.
Okay. Okay, good. So obviously you got an ICOM ID 5100 right there at the top, because I have one of those in my truck. And then I see you've got a mount for your Yaesu FT5.
Yep.
And then a Midland looks like I'm guessing that's a GMRS radio with the controls and the screen all in mic, and the radio's hidden somewhere in the vehicle.
Yeah, that's the MTX 575 is what that is.
Okay. So is that 3 radios, or is there something else there I'm not seeing?
So there's 3 radios there. And then on the which you can't see on the other side is where I keep my the FTX or FT65. It's on like a MOLLE panel.
Yeah. Okay.
And then right after I took that picture, I temporarily mounted my 891 in there.
Okay.
And it'd actually be right in between the ICOM and the handhelds. It's set right in there, which was a fantastic little place for it.
Yeah, it looks like there's plenty of room in there for that. Good. So, and the mounts you have this on, what kind of mounts are those that everything's attached to?
That is actually on the Lido mount.
Okay, good. No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
It's a fantastic mount.
Yes.
Very secure. The arm's very adjustable. It worked great. It mounts right to the bottom of the seat. Comes up. You can adjust the arm in and out. You can add accessories on accessories on accessories.
Yes.
The main reason that I have the FT5D on there was I was beaconing APRS.
Okay.
So I had that I was beaconing APRS, and then we have a ham channel that just, that we run on the trails and stuff just to kind of keep the noise down.
Yeah.
Because we found that the Midlands, they work great, but sometimes to get from the front of the pack to the back of the pack, you really need a little more power.
Interesting.
And so we run the handhelds. That way, when we're out of the vehicle, we can still talk to one another and make sure that people in the back know that we're stopped. Because that's a big thing when you're running a lot of dust. You can't see unless you have a bunch of chase lights in the back flashing so that you can see someone is stopped in front of you.
Yeah, totally. Okay, good. Yeah, so Lido Mounts, Jim, the owner of that company, he comes to all our big ham fests. And I told him last year, I'm like, dude, you need to go, you need to start going to Overland shows, because Bulletproof Mounts was at the Moore Expo last year, and they've got some really cool stuff, but they're kind of limited to, like, they make stuff for Jeeps and for like tacos, and which is fine. They've got 90% of the community covered by doing that.
Right.
But even with all they have, Lido Mounts has like 3 times as many items for just all kinds of stuff, cell phones, tablets, radios, just everything. So I'm trying to get them to start coming to some Overland shows. I put that bug in his ear last year and he was like, really? You think that'd be good? I was like, dude, you should, you should totally do that.
Yeah. Just even his gmrs mounts, just for the mic mount.
Right.
He would, absolutely.
Yeah.
It would definitely get the name out there. And, there's a lot more hams in the overlanding industry than I ever thought there was. Mm-hmm. There's a ton of them. And there's a lot of them that don't know a lot of the products because they've been out of ham for a long time. Like I met a guy the other day that I know, he's a ham, and he was picking the daylights out of my brain. And then I was telling him about parks on the air. And oh my gosh, it has opened up a new world for him.
Yeah.
He literally messaged me the other day about antennas. He's got this antenna from his dad when his dad was a ham, and he wants to use this. I'm like, use it. Just use it. And he's been out there now. He's sent me a couple questions on how to download the upload the files to the, and I'm like, here, go to this video. Here, go to this, and he is absolutely loving it. But yeah, there's an absolutely need for that kind of stuff in the industry. The industry needs a lot of cool new stuff like that to come in.
I agree. I think it's ripe for the pickings. And I think that the Overland shows I've been to, I have struck up some conversations with people on 146.52 FM simplex, which is our national calling frequency. It's a commonly used frequency at ham radio shows for those listening, and met a lot of hams at Overland shows via that route. So I think it's there's a lot out there that maybe in fact I had a couple guys walk by the Gigaparts booth at that show we were talking about earlier, like, oh yeah, I'm a ham, I've seen you guys, blah blah blah. I was like, well, where's your radio? Well, I didn't bring my radio. I'm like, what, you didn't bring your radio? Come on, man. So
I go to a lot of events and stuff, and I camp a lot with Dark Side Overland, which I know you met him.
Yeah.
And he brings a GMRS repeater.
Oh, nice. Yes.
It has a GMRS repeater set up in his truck. So now I have, in my new rig that I'm building, a GMRS repeater built in, so I can turn it on and off at these events, or if we're on the trail or whatever. That way we can get out a little farther.
That's a great idea. I might have to do that myself, because I have one of those. All right, so this looks like a taco here.
Yep.
And you've got a decked system in the back there, and Duck just came out with a whole new drawer system. Yes. And it's I'm not familiar with. I think they expanded it and used more space.
Yeah, I actually, so that's an 08 taco.
Okay.
It's one of the really older good ones, I would say. It's the new deck system I wish was in that.
Yeah.
It has a single big drawer that would come out.
Oh, does it?
Instead of, so the tacos, the problem is they have a large drawer on the right side and a narrow drawer on the left side.
Yeah.
So it kind of makes things a little awkward from time to time to get in. So I wish it had the big drawer so that you could put bigger items in, or, you can organize it a lot better.
Yeah.
And there's not as much wasted space, because the rail that runs down the middle of that, of course, is like 6-8 inches of wasted space.
Right.
And when you're talking a small space like that, every inch is very important. Every little bag that you can hang, or any accessory that you can get up and out of the way, is very important on stuff like that for, the tacos or the Jeeps and stuff like that. They're very, when you get into the Ram Power Wagons, you got a lot of square footage that you can run with, and make do with what you got. Where this, you have to really pick and choose what you want.
Yeah. Yeah. I was going to get one of these systems. I have a full size F-250, and I've got some plans to do some other stuff for Overland rigs upcoming, but we'll see what happens with that. But right now I'm running a full size F-250. And I like that there's a group of people that I meet at these Overland shows that are actually full size over. They're like, hey, let's go on a full size trail run today. I'm like, oh yeah, let's do that.
Yeah.
So, but I was talking to a guy out here who owns a shop in Texas, and he talked me out of getting the deck system because he's like, man, I had it in my truck. He had it in his Tundra, his full-size Tundra for a while, and he ended up taking it out because he's like, there's too much wasted space because the drawers are kind of angled on the ends. And so right in the middle, like you said, there's a bunch of wasted space. And then on the sides, they have those little cubby hole pockets on the sides, but those aren't real convenient for storing stuff. And he realized that he needed more space than what they offered. So he took them out. But so I ended up getting their slide drawer in the back of my truck. They're the table that slides in and out. I love that thing. It's freaking awesome. But
the new one has the drawers are actually squared off instead of rounded.
I was wondering that.
Because they had a lot of complaints about you would put something in there and then it'd want to fall to the bottom because of the angle.
Yeah. Okay.
So what they've done is they've made them more square so that stuff will stand up in there a lot easier. And it's great that they're looking and taking feedback so that they can improve the product, which they do, and it's awesome.
Totally. Nice group of guys too. I met them at Colorado last year, so it was a good show. But yeah, I like that they come out on all the holidays and say this is the worst sale ever because they never put their stuff on sale because they're like we sell out constantly, so we don't need to put it on sale. I'm like, I don't blame you. So it's good.
Yep.
This looks like the front of that same vehicle. Is that right?
Yeah, it's the same one. It had the Alucab canopy on it, which is a great product. Had a front, actually that has a rhino rack up on the top. Great product. Slimline, no wind, noise, no nothing like that. A lot of accessories that you can mount to it. And then it's got an ARB front bumper on it with a couple, I think they were ARB lights. I can't remember now.
This is one of the ones you got rid of, I guess.
Yes, this is one of them. This is one of them that I just traded for the new one. So the new one I've got a brand new 23 Taco off-road.
Okay.
So I upgraded to the brand new one, which I'm really stoked about getting it set up. It's going to be a great vehicle. I love this 08. It's great for trails, being on the East Coast. More, I call myself an East Coastern, but I'm not. I'm more Midwestern. But I go to the East Coast a lot and do a lot of trails on the East Coast, up north, and they're tight. I mean, they are just tight. And most of the stuff is laying on the vehicle because it's so tight. And it's hard to get a full size, which I just found out a couple weeks ago. It's hard to get a full size through some of those trails. Yeah. And without getting it all scratched up, which I happen to do.
That's why I'm in the process of rhino lining my entire truck. So yeah. I've got the front grille and the hood done already, and it looks cherry. That they did the hood for me. It's a navy blue truck, and they did the hood in the same color as the paint, and it just freaking looks awesome. And people ask about it. They're like, "Wow, what is that?" I'm like, "That's rhino lining." So I'm just going to do it in stages. I'm going to do the front fenders, and then the doors, and the cab, and the bed. Just kind of do it all a little bit at a time. So it's and then you don't have to worry about scratch ups and whatnot.
No.
So.
No.
All right. This looks like a this thing's popping up. Wants me to install an HEVC video extension, but I don't. Whatever. This looks a little bit like the van that you had at the Virginia show 2 years ago when I met you. I don't know if that's the same one or not.
That is the same one.
Okay. So tell us about that one.
My little love right there. It's a 2500 Sprinter. It was set up for the family when we were out doing a lot of events and stuff. And it had captain seats in the back for the kids and a bed, double bunk. I had a bunk bed in the back for the wife and I and the kids. And four-wheel drive Sprinter. Man, that thing, it's impressive what that four-wheel drive system in that thing would do. Nice. Absolutely impressive. It was a lot of fun to drive. It was a lot of fun to have. But the wife wanted a camper trailer instead of it due to the Sprinter was a 170, which if I ever did it again, I'd do a 144. The 170, you just can't, it's like 3 feet longer than a normal parking spot. So it's hard to find a parking spot. It was hard to find we go somewhere, the kids would want to go to the museums or something, and we couldn't find places to park it, and it just turned into a hassle for
Mhm.
that aspect. So we ordered and took 2 years to get because of COVID, of course.
Yeah.
But we did get we have a camper trailer now, and it's nice because we can unhook from it, take the pickup truck, go to events, museums and stuff like that, and come
Yeah.
back. If I had a 144, I'd never got rid of it.
Oh, okay. That's good to
Never.
know. That's good to know. You would
Yeah.
think you'd want more space with the 170
Yeah.
because
Well,
I mean,
yep.
especially with 4 people in there. But
Yeah.
yeah, I see what you're saying about parking though.
Yeah. It had plenty of space.
Mhm.
Plenty of space. We had a kitchenette in it. We had captain seats. We had storage out the wazoo. Um, and the only problem was it just you couldn't park it anywhere. I
Yeah.
mean, the height of it was hard to get into certain places because of the height. I had, a roof rack on. I had all the goodies on it.
Right.
Actually, it's on several different vendors' websites as a ploy to get you to try to buy product off of them, which is kind of funny. I keep seeing it popping up. I'll be looking at different stuff and I'll see it pop up and be like, "Hey, that's my van," But yeah, it has a lot of stuff, and I got a good friend down at Freedom Van Go in Jacksonville, Florida,
Mhm.
that did the interior kit on it for me and stuff like that because I was just way too busy to mess with it. Plus, he does fantastic work, and he set it all up really nice for me.
Good. Yeah, those are nice. I've been looking at vans and I haven't decided what to get yet, but I think I'm gonna do some experimenting and see what happens. So, all right. So this is another taco. Is this your 23?
Yep, that's my brand new baby
Okay.
right there.
Okay.
Brand new. That's the brand new one. Just literally just got it.
Mhm.
I got it on a Tuesday, and on a Wednesday I went to an event in it. So
Oh, nice.
I
Okay.
don't let them sit around too long before I start getting them out.
Yeah.
Went to the Blue Ridge Overland Gear rooftop tent rally in it,
Uh-huh.
and of course it's not set up the way I want it yet, but
Sure.
I've got a full enclosed trailer full of parts right now that I'm ready to get started on it. Now it's
Good.
starting to cool off. I'll be able to get it in and tear it all apart and start putting stuff in it. Of course, radios are first because you got to start in the inside and work your way out. So
Right.
I'm gonna have the FT 891.
Mhm.
I think I'm gonna go to an FTM 500 in this one,
Mhm.
and so that I can do away with um, the handheld
Mhm.
APRS, so I can control it more on the 500.
Mhm.
And then the GMRS, I'm kind of mixed on it right now. I'm looking at the Wotions,
Mhm. Mhm.
due to we have a ton of awesome repeaters around me, and they're all over. And then that way I can change easily change repeaters
Mhm.
and not have to actually go in and program it on the Midland. That's the
Mhm.
only problem I have with the Midland. But I'm still going to probably put the Midland in too, just for simplicity. It'll be in the back of the truck,
Mm.
so we're at camp and stuff like that. I can run the Midland off the back of the truck. Um,
Yeah.
I got some cool stuff I'm going to try on this I've never tried before. So I'm going to actually have radios in the back of the truck so that I can do parks on the air right from the back of it.
That's a
And
good idea. That's a good idea. I've been looking at doing something like that myself, although mine won't be permanently mounted back there. But yes, I think that's a fantastic idea.
so, yeah, I'm kind of looking at, um, which, we'll see what happens. But
Mhm.
I got some ideas on, different radios to put in this one versus the other one. I got a whole slew of radios anymore. It seems like it's like vehicles. You just start, curing them. And,
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
I want to set this up to be a long lasting. I'm going to hold on to this one for a while.
Good. Good. Well, we'll have to get you back on the show again after you get it all set up and get some pictures of it, whatnot.
Yeah, I'm hoping get started on it. I want to do kind of like almost like a laps build series, so
Yeah.
it kind of shows the lapse of it. So
Yeah.
maybe we can show that. And I got a lot of cool ideas that I'm going to do on this one that I haven't done on the other ones. So
Okay.
maybe we can pinpoint some of that stuff on that too. I'm
Absolutely.
really excited about this truck, to be honest with you.
Absolutely. Okay. Is this the same van that we already talked about?
That is the same van. Yep.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
Let's go. I want to talk about the Power Wagon here.
Yeah.
There we go. Now, do you still have this one?
That one, actually, I do not have it.
Okay.
I got rid of it due to it had some issues that I needed to get rid of it. It didn't fit the need of pulling the trailer like I wanted to.
Okay.
Due to the excess of weight that I had on it.
Yeah.
So
okay.
I got rid of that, and I went to my old trusty Tundra to pull the trailer. So
Okay.
that was the 23 Ram with the alu cabin,
Mm-hmm.
and has the large alu cab wood box up there on the roof rack, which has a front runner rack on it.
Okay.
And lots of storage. Loved that thing. Loved it. It was awesome when we had the camper trailer behind it. We could fill the back end full of bicycles and grills and of course, there we go. Weight.
Yeah.
And filled it full of all kinds of stuff. And we actually went one time and parked, and then we went and camped somewhere else in the truck. So because the top pops up and it's a tent on top.
Mm-hmm.
So we could do like a more remote type camping, which I like to get out. And, I really enjoy doing a lot of night photos. I'm starting to get into taking night photos, and the light pollution, get away from it and just take some really cool pictures of that kind of stuff.
Cool. Yeah. So what did you think about, and we don't have to get into a deep dive on this or anything, but what did you think about, that's another picture of it right there, about taking a full size on trail as compared to the Taco, or just something smaller than a full size, obviously?
Yeah. So if you're not afraid to scratch it up, go for it. Send it.
Okay.
If you don't want to scratch it up, it's a no-go, because
yeah.
we were on a trail and I was literally pushing limbs from the get-go off of the truck.
Yeah.
And the Tacos behind me, they weren't even touching them.
Ah, okay.
And so then the issue gets into when you get into the fuller size, when you get into real tight trails, you can't turn it, you can't spin it, you can't get around obstacles that are really that hard to get around.
Yeah.
But there's different areas, there's different trails, there's different, people have different styles of overlanding, off-roading. There's so many different styles that you can do. That's my 2019 Tundra, which is my love right there. I love that truck. And that's the one I just took off-road not too long ago. And
Tundra, correct me if I'm wrong, a Tundra is also considered a full-size truck, right?
Yeah, it's technically a half-ton.
Okay. All right.
Technically a half-ton truck that is built and looks like a 3/4 ton, to be honest with you.
A little bit, yeah. I mean, some of the newer Fords and Dodges, some of their crew cab half tons are pretty beefy these days, a lot more than they used to be 10 or 15 years ago.
Yes.
But that Dodge Power Wagon, was it a 3/4 ton?
It was a 3/4 ton with the big old Hemi in it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. All right.
It had a lot of power and everything. It just didn't fit us very well.
Yeah.
It was the biggest problem. And it was a vehicle that we were trying to do a multi-use, and then I came to the thought process of, if I trail this thing and I break something, how are we going to go camping in the other vehicle?
Yeah.
When we already have stuff planned and stuff like that. And it's like, oh man, I don't know if I can. So, when you're pulling, we're pulling a 30-foot Airstream. When you're pulling a 30-foot Airstream that weighs, I think it's like 8,000 pounds or something like that. You want that vehicle to be in top shape to make sure that everything's okay. You don't want your, rear sway bar links to be wore out because you just, worked it over. And, you didn't realize it and you're in a hurry. And, so that's the main reason that we did that, was because more or less safety. I'm a big safety guy,
Sure.
you know,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
so I've always been worried about, pulling that thing and everything. So, but
You're
yeah,
pulling an 8,000-pound Airstream with a gasoline powered truck. That's gutsy right there. I
you
mean,
know
it's just
what? The funny thing is that Tundra pulls it now. It doesn't even know it's back there.
Really
Nope.
interesting.
Doesn't even know it's back there.
That is interesting because
The
I've
only
always
issues is the shifting between gears, because
yeah
Tundra, Toyota's always been known for gear hunting on the mountains.
yeah
They like to gear hunt. So I'm gonna do a Overland tune on it,
mm-hmm.
and they can tune it and twist the all the little gadgets to make it work better. And if that doesn't work, then we're going to re-gear it a little bit just so it doesn't hunt. But other than that, it pulls it like a dream. Has more than enough power. Actually, it almost feels like it has more power than the Ram had, to be honest with you.
Interesting.
Just because of the way it rides and lopes and stuff like that. It feels like it has more power.
Interesting. Okay. You still have this one, right?
I still have that one, yes.
Okay. What radios do you have in there?
So that one I have. So I actually have a ICOM 5100, just like I had in the Ram. I like the ICOM 5100. It's a
it's a good radio.
user-friendly radio, I think.
Yes.
And with me being a new ham, that was my first radio that I bought to put into a truck, and I got it from advice from other people. I think you too. I think you even advised it. Just for the easiness of it, easy programming, easy buttons on the, you can get through it real easy and set it up. So I have an ICOM 5100, and then I have I think I have another MTX 575 in that one. And then I have another radio in there too. And I cannot think of for the life of me what it is. It's a 2-meter radio.
Okay. 2-meter only?
Yeah, it's a 2-meter only. Just because we have it seems like 10 repeaters around us, and my friends talk on 3 of them, and IC 5100 only listened to 2 at one time, so I had to have one more to. So yeah, I sometimes I play microphone jockey and switch from one to another, But
that's exactly what I do in my rig. That's exactly what I do. So yeah, I hear you. Good deal. All right, man. Well, hey, that's a really nice setup. I'll be interested to see when you get the 2023 Taco decked out, and what all you do with it. So you said you got some new ideas for it. So I'm anxious to see what you do with that. But I do appreciate your time today. What's coming up for you guys? It's November now, and holidays are upcoming and whatnot. Is there any trips planned? You do much over the winter, or are you going to wait for next spring or something?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm going to I go to a lot of stuff. So this weekend I'm going to a Land Cruiser breakfast.
Okay.
And then after that, we're going to go camp. Me and another guy. I'm getting a guy into overlanding, and he's actually a ham.
Good.
And he likes to do parks in the air. With me and him, go do a lot of stuff. And we can do parks in the air. So I've got him the overland bug really bad right now. So he's on the hunt kind of for a vehicle because he needs a one. And so we're going to go do some sample camping just to kind of see what gear he needs and what type of stuff that he's going to need to get through. So that's really exciting this weekend. And then we're going to do Land Between the Lakes this year. We're going to do Land Between the Lakes. There's a group from Ohio that I go and do a lot of stuff with, and they put on stuff all once a month. They're going somewhere.
Nice.
And so then we're going down, and for New Year's, I'm supposed to go with the group that I run with a lot, which Dark Side, Overland, and those guys, First State, Overland. We're going to Charlotte, South Carolina.
Okay.
For a New Year's Eve camp out.
Nice.
So
Cool.
we're going to do a lot of, and then I'm going to be doing a lot of stuff. I'm going to the More Expo this year. I'm going to, I might be a vendor actually at a lot of these events now.
So real quick plug about the More Expo, and they're supposed to be sending me another affiliate link this year because they did last year. I had a storyteller pass last year, and I've been for the last 2 years, and myself and two of my ham radio friends who are getting into overlanding like you described, we're going to go back this year, and we're going to set up, and we've already reserved our campsites in the back there. And we're going to set up, and we've actually got 2 or 3 people come with us. We're going to set up a larger camp area and set up a big hex beam for ham radio. Nice. And we're just so people will walk by and be like, "What the heck are you guys doing?" So we want to get we're going to be advertising that on all my ham radio outlets for the next 2 or 3 months, and say if you can come to the More Expo. It's like the 3rd weekend of April, I think it is.
I think that is correct. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's it's in Springfield, Missouri. And just go to moreexpo.com, and you can find out more information. But if you're interested in the More Expo and you're a ham radio operator, we're trying to get as many hams out there as we can because we want to kind of not overtake, but we want to have a big showing there just because, just because because a lot of people are into both.
Yes.
Both worlds, and they may or may not know it. And what you told me last time you and I spoke was that you think there's a big kind of awakening in Overland for people getting interested in ham, because once they figure out what it is, they're like, "Wow, that's actually pretty cool. Let me learn more about that." So,
absolutely.
At the More Expo, I've noticed for the last 2 years I've been there that's certainly true. I have people coming up to me asking me about radio and we talk about GMRS and CB radio there too. But yeah, the ham radio thing is kind of nice to get in there. So yeah, moreexpo.com for anybody listening.
Yeah, I get a lot of questions at events and stuff about how did you pick this radio? How did you pick that antenna? How did you, what's this? What's that? There's a lot of information out there about base stations and setting up, antennas at home and stuff like that. But when it gets into the more mobile area, there's not quite as much information about, hey, this is I know you do a great job on your channel about reviews and products and stuff like that. But there's, here's this mount, here's that mount, here's how you can, I watched a YouTube channel the other day about this guy was setting up a radio in his truck, and he was having trouble with a lot of ground noise. And I was like, well, it's your grounding. You grounded it. Right. You grounded it inside your cab against your gas pedal. You're getting those electronic gas pedals. You're going to get some, RF from that. So if you move that ground, you probably will lose all that. But there's a lot of that is really interesting to people, and it's awesome that you're bringing this to the industry so that people will have an outlet to be able to ask questions and get more involved. And a guy that I talked to the other day has been a ham for 30 some years. He didn't even know what Parks on the Air was, and it was like, oh man, I'm like, and he's like, oh, I'm in national forest and state parks every weekend, maybe even 3 times during the week, and most of the time I sit in a chair because I'm bored. I'm like, well, here you go. He's like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna, His wife sent me a message the other day on Instagram about, hey, you gotta stop. Our shopping carts are way too full on the internet. You gotta stop.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's funny. Good. Wes, I appreciate your time today, buddy. It's always good to catch up with you. And I hope to see you at some shows next year, because I've got plans to do a few more things next year myself. So we're definitely going to jump into this world with both feet. And I like that this specific podcast series here is going to be kind of like the marriage of not only ham radio. I mean, if you've got GMRS, your CB, you've got some other type of business band radio, something you want to talk about your rig, we welcome you onto this podcast as well. So, Wes, thanks for your time today, man, and I hope to catch up with you soon.
No worries, Jason. Thanks for having me on. And, it was always a pleasure catching up with you and talking with you.
All right, man. Have a good day.
You too.